welcome to the Blue Corner. My name is Dennis, and today's video is gonna be a little bit different. Still gonna be talking about physical media, but today we're gonna be talking about music physical media, not movies. So, as you can see from the title and my thumbnail, this is my history with the band Lions at the Gate. But before we can get to that, we have to jump back in time a bit. All the way back to 2001. Back when I didn't have a driver's license, I didn't have my car, I didn't have a Visa card where I could import from other countries outside of Denmark where I am located. So, for me to discover new music, I was watching MTV Headbangers Ball back in the day. For those of you that don't know, MTV Music or MTV used to play music videos, and that was a big source of inspiration for music I liked. And then you had magazines. Again, Denmark, small country, we didn't really get magazines from any company here in Denmark explaining or showing off new bands and stuff like that. So for me to buy the magazines I wanted, I had to take a 45-minute bus ride to the nearest big city where there's a train station, and in that train station they had a little store that imported magazines from America and Germany. So I went there every now and again and bought new magazines, and in this case it is the magazine Krang that I picked up. And back then, I don't know if Krang's still around today. I don't buy them anymore. But back then, there would usually be a free CD included with music from various bands that they could apparently get the license to and put on the CD. And that was another big source of inspiration for me to find new bands. And this magazine I picked up, apparently from what I can gather online, it has to have been July 2001, because I did find the album online to get a reference of when it came out, and it is July 2001. There was several tracks on the album that I liked, but there was one song that really stood out to me and had that song playing on repeat quite a bit, and that was the song Rumba by the band El Nino. And for those of you that don't know El Nino, they are a Latin metal band, Latin English speaking band, mixing Latin with English. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna say it. So I don't understand the Latin part. I don't speak it, and yet somehow for the last almost 20 years, El Nino have been my absolute favorite band. I picked up every new album they played. I've had a bunch of t-shirts. I had one t-shirt that I worn on several of my older videos, if they are still up, I don't remember. That was one t-shirt that I really liked. So yeah, you can see that t-shirt on several of my older videos. But like I said, I did pick up every album. Let's see. The first album I picked up was Revolution, which is where Rumba is from. And again, I mentioned I didn't have a Visa card, so I couldn't order stuff from Amazon UK or US and import. Again, I had to take 40-minute bus rides to the nearest big city, go into music stores, have them import them for me, and wait a week, 2 weeks, go out again and pick it up. And that was how I got a large amount of my CDs for the collection back in the day. Thankfully, that's not the case anymore. But yeah, had to get this album, played it quite a bit, and was a major reason why El Nino quickly became my favorite band. Then came Confession. To this day, still my absolute favorite album I have in the collection. Pure masterpiece. The song Unframed, I don't know what more to say about it, but this is an absolute masterpiece, if you ask me. I freaking love this album. One Nation Underground, more of the same. Great album. These 3 albums I have shown now are the ones people really talk about when mentioning El Nino. Those were put out by Roadrunner Records, but after that 3rd album, they actually did leave Roadrunner. I don't know why. I've never really checked into that, and to me that's not really important. They still put out music, but Roadrunner did actually put out a greatest hits album too. And I normally don't pick up greatest hits albums when there's nothing new on it at all. I wouldn't be surprised if this was just a pure cash grab by Roadrunner after the band left. I could be wrong, but I absolutely wouldn't be surprised by that. Then in 2008, mind you, I'm in Denmark, small country. A band like El Nino probably isn't the biggest draw in a country like Denmark. Yet they have been here a couple of times, and back in 2008, it must have been early 2008 again, time frame. I don't remember everything correctly or precisely. I did have a ticket to go to a concert they had in Copenhagen. Again, I'm up north in Denmark, so going to Copenhagen would have been a 4-hour train ride or a little over an hour plane ride. And normally I don't like going to stuff alone that far away. So that's probably why I haven't been to a ton of concerts. But this time I talked a friend into going with me, who I turned into a fan of the band. Sadly, few days before the concert, I hurt my knee. I dislocated my kneecap, and I couldn't go. So yeah, that was a double whammy, getting hurt. Couldn't go to the concert. I was so bummed out in that time frame. My friend did end up going alone, and I had to sell the ticket to one of his other friends. So sadly, I missed out. I've never been to a concert with El Nino, and to this day, that still sucks. And now, for upcoming reasons, that's not gonna happen. But in the same year, they did put out the next album, Enigma, and that in the same time frame, they did put out a little EP called the Undercover Sessions. I did have that little EP, but those same songs are included on this album. So that same said friend I converted into a fan. I gave him that album or EP, and he started building his collection from there. So I don't have that. I do have Enigma though. And of course, they continued to put out more music, and I've still not been to a concert. Next album. This is another favorite album of mine. And if you've been around the channel long enough, you can probably find videos of me wearing a t-shirt with this image. I love that t-shirt. Long since worn out completely, so don't have that one anymore. And then for now, till now, the final La Familia album, another great album. They did tone down the metal part just a tad bit over the years, but still all great albums. And then, like I said, Revolution was to me the first album they put out, and I did think it was actually the first album for the longest time until I found out that they actually had an early album from the CIA Records label they put out. Uh, I don't want to speak bad about the album, but I don't know if the same production was put into this as the later albums. I'm not as keen to put this album on as the other albums, but you can clearly hear where the band was going. There is Rumba is included here, so that got re-recorded and put on the next album. This was a long out of print album when I discovered that they actually had put this out, so thankfully I could find it on eBay. Rather expensive, but it had to be in the collection, and it got into the collection. Then we came around to 2019. Oh boy. The rumors of drama in the band started appearing online, and I knew right then and there, oh no, my favorite band of all time is no more. And sure enough, shortly after, a bunch of drama got leaked, court dates settled. I, we still don't know everything about that they settled, and that's that. I don't want to go more into that. That's not important. But it ended up being a bunch of a bunch of the band members leaving the band, which now means we don't have my favorite band, El Nino, anymore. Granted, there is a cover band now, but that doesn't count. So, like I said, a bunch of the members left the band. Cristian, the lead singer, became rather active on Twitter during the pandemic, and I've never been a person that's reached out or anything to any of my favorite actors or musicians or not, but I started following Cristian, his personal Twitter account, and I actually started replying to stuff he wrote, and he started replying me, and out of nowhere, I earned a follow back from Cristian himself. It's beyond my imagination. This guy that has put out some of my absolute favorite music for some 20 odd years is now following me, and I don't post stuff that he would really be interested in. So that made my day, and I had to, of course, repost that he started following me on Twitter. So yeah, thank you, Cristian, if you ever see this. But yeah, Cristian was very clearly bored during the pandemic. He was very active on Twitter, and I loved seeing him being this active, and I could talk to him. So during the same time period, he started doing these interviews on YouTube with big, small, everything in between channels, and that actually made me think, well, he's doing these somewhat small channels. Granted, my channel is not big at all, and I got the idea of making a bunch of questions myself, watching the other interviews, trying to find questions that he didn't answer in any of those interviews. And I had a list of 10, 12 questions or so, but I never got around to actually ask him. I don't know what it was, nerves, the difference in time zones. I'm in Denmark, he's in America. There's several hours in between us. I don't know why. I never got around to asking him, sadly. I don't know if he would do it or not. But to this day, I'm still kind of regretting not at least trying to get him on my channel. I would love this one-on-one chat with him, even though I would probably be a bit starstruck. But yeah, that didn't happen. But he did, in the meantime, put out a solo album, which came as a surprise to many when we found out that it was actually an acoustic album, not metal at all. And he is known as one of the best nu metal voices in nu metal at all of all times, at least from what I think and see online. So, granted, there was plenty disappointed people that it wasn't metal. I'm not gonna say disappointed, but it wasn't what I was expecting either. But of course, I bought the CD. Cristian, El Nino, had to get it. And I'm not an autograph guy, but it was an option, so I figured, okay, I'll get his autograph. So he signed the cover and the CD itself, and I quickly started to really like this album. He did put out Die Alone as a single. Good song. I really enjoyed. My favorite song isn't that one though. Shortly after, he put out behind the scenes teasers from the second single that he was apparently gonna put out. And now, several years later, we still haven't seen that music video. So, Cristian, what's up with that? I did ask him on Twitter some time ago, and he said it might still happen. But that second single was the song I liked the most from the album. So, Cristian, I still hope you put that song or music video out someday, just in case you watch this. Yeah, acoustic, Cristian Machado. If you don't know El Nino or Cristian at all, if you know the MTV Unplugged specials that MTV used to run back when they actually did show music again, this would have fit in so perfectly. It is MTV Unplugged Cristian Machado in my mind, without a doubt. And there's some great songs. If you're not into metal and you don't know him, check out some of the links I posted down below. I will put links to what I really enjoy from him. So yeah, Cristian Machado, his solo album. At the same time, he did announce a band he was in would be coming out eventually. 3 of the former El Nino members, Diego, Aru, and Cristian, were forming a new band, Lions at the Gate, which we didn't get for quite some time. We knew the band was coming. It took a while before we got the name, but we got Lions at the Gate. Good name, I think. And at the same time, he did tell people that they already had, I don't remember if he said 11 or 13 songs at the time. So the album was somewhat easy. I don't know the behind the scenes stuff. I don't know if it was easy or not. But they had the songs for the album. So I figured, oh boy, there's a new album coming soon. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. Now again, 2 plus years later, we finally have the album. 6 singles, and like I said, 2+ years, we finally have the debut album of Lions at the Gate. Oh boy, it's double packed. It is an independent release from what I gather, so it's not available everywhere, and since that's not the case, I had to import again, and the site I ordered from isn't IOSS registered, so this package would get caught in customs, and sure enough it did. So it did cost me a little extra to get the album. Don't mind that at all, even though the Danish Postal Service is a bit greedy, but that's not here nor there. But that is also the case why I didn't go all out and get a bunch of merch, because it was just gonna be way too expensive with getting caught in customs. I hate I can't have a Lions at the Gate t-shirt on right now to show off. Hopefully in the future. But I did get Lions at the Gate debut album. Like I said, 6 singles deep. We finally have the album, and it does include 11 tracks. So I've already heard half the album. So let's just do that. And for once, a band that still puts in the jewel case, even though I will be putting in a sleeve. I hate those digipack releases bands use today. But yeah, there's 6 singles already, and I'm gonna be very interested in hearing this album to see what I think about the remaining songs. I played some of the singles so much that I'm not gonna say I'm tired of them, but I'm gonna be more interested in the remaining songs. So you can see here, and of course, Christian, Diego, and Uru did find Steven and Fern to form out a 5-man band. And yeah, pretty simple forward. And it's been really hard holding off listening to the album on Spotify, whatnot. I did want, hold it correctly, I did want the CD to get the full experience. So yeah, I picked up the debut album. But with that, for unknown reasons, I did also pick up a second copy, the more exclusive copy, the limited to 100 copies album. It is the same CD, just with different artwork. But I really wanted to support the band since I wasn't buying a ton of merch. And like I said, it is limited to 100 copies, which sold out rather fast. So yeah, I did pick up this album too. Again, same stuff. And I wish I could play some of the music in this video here, but it's YouTube. I don't know copyright. So again, I will post links down below to what I feel you should check out. And it's just, I'm not gonna automatically put Lions at the Gate as my favorite band of all time. It is still the debut album of this band, and it's not a complete same sound as El Nino had. So they are very good. they are gonna get high on my list. And we just got the debut album, and Cristian has already announced that they are working on album number 2. I was so happy to hear that. I was expecting that to be the case, especially since he did tell people on Twitter and wherever back then, before the band was even announced, that they had the 11, 13 songs, however many it was. It is 11 songs on the album, so probably 11. That's 2+ years ago, so I wasn't really shocked by the announcement of them already working on album number 2. Hopefully, it doesn't take 2+ years for that to come out. Even though I want it to be as perfect as it can be. But yes, I finally have the Lions at the Gate debut album, or 2 of them. One for my house and one for my car, probably. I would have really liked to get the big LP too and frame that, but again, wall space. There's not plenty of that, and I don't have a LP player, so yeah. I have the debut album, 2 of them, and I just want to say thank you to Cristian, Diego, and Aru for the many hours of great music I've listened to over the years. And here's to many more years with Lions at the Gate. And yeah, I thank you. I can't express how much this music have meant to me over the years. And I'm a fan. I'm a yeah, I'm a fan, and it's meant a lot to me. So again, thank you. And with that, I'm just gonna end it here. I don't want to be rambling on for way too long. With that, please do hit the like button. And other than that, thanks for watching. Until next time, peace out.